Hi, this is Teresa, and my channel helps mature single women embrace retirement. By sharing my experiences, I hope to inspire you that having time to do what you want, when you want, is possible for you. So today I'm speaking with Tamala Floyd, and Tamala is an IFS certified psychotherapist. She's also an author and a retreat leader. Tamala and her husband became digital nomads in 2022. Her new book, Listening When Parts Speak: A Practical Guide to Healing with Internal Family Systems Therapy and Ancestor Wisdom, releases on August 20th, 2024. She's also one of my best friends, and I'm excited about this conversation. You don't want to miss it. Please join me in welcoming Tamala Floyd. Hey, Tamala.
Hey, Teresa, when you said I'm one of your best friends, I just had to smile. Yes, and you are one of my best friends. Absolutely.
Yay. So, Tamala, for our viewers that may not know what a digital nomad is, can you provide a little bit of information on what does that mean?
Right. Yes. So I had to learn for myself firsthand. So a digital nomad is someone who, first of all, does not have a home. They live everywhere. They travel the world and, going places that they desire to go. And so that's the nomading. The digital piece is how we work. And so we're working remotely, we're working online. So any business that allows you to use the internet or work remote would be considered the digital part of the digital nomad.
Okay, thank you. And can you tell us how did you and your husband come to consider this lifestyle change?
Oh my goodness, yes. Well, it was a process. So we started with the idea of leaving the US and moving to another country. And for a long time, our country of choice was Costa Rica. We traveled there several times and really loved it and thought that's where we would settle. And then COVID happened. And so when COVID happened, we started, the world closed. So the only place, and we love to travel, the only place we really could travel during that time was Mexico. So we started going to Mexico for 30 days at a time, getting prepared for living outside of the country. But as we did that several times a year, we realized, whoa, maybe we want to look at, instead of living in one place, traveling the world. So that's kind of the way that we changed our minds from going to Costa Rica to becoming digital nomads.
Love that. I love that. So what was your planning process? And like, meaning how did you decide which countries you wanted to visit?
Yeah. So for me, and it's so funny because my husband didn't want to do this, but for me, I decided to create a bucket list. So my bucket list was going to be places I wanted to travel to, things I wanted to do, things I wanted to experience. And I really do have like a childlike wonder about the world. So one of the things that I did as far as creating that bucket list is I went back to my childhood and thought about what were the things I wanted to do and see when I grow up. So those were things that became a part of the list. I also found apps that would help with creating a bucket list. The one I used was called My 100. And again, this was some years ago, so I don't know if it's still out there, but there are bucket list apps where you can put your bucket list on there. And when I say that my husband, didn't join in that, when asked him, well, you need to create a bucket list. What would be on your bucket list? What he said was, everything's on my bucket list. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, I have some things that are not on my bucket list, like Antarctica. So, it isn't all for me. So that's pretty much how we did it, is just coming up with those places that you really want to go, those things that excited you in childhood, put them on your bucket list.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned Antarctica. That's actually a place that I'm interested in going to visit. So maybe we can talk you into adding that to the list, the future list. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. Now I did want to ask, so which countries have you had any countries that have been favorites so far?
Yes, absolutely. So we started our travels in Europe and we traveled 7, 8 countries in Europe. And so at that time, my favorite country was Italy, by far. I mean, there just wasn't any other country that I really wanted to travel to and see more of. And however, that was year one. However, we've been doing this now a little over 2 years, and we've gone to more countries. At that point, we had not gone to Asia. So my top two countries are actually in Asia. So the first one is Indonesia, but particularly Bali, Indonesia. We did other areas and islands of Indonesia, but Bali is my all-time favorite place to go. Cannot wait to revisit. And then my second is Thailand. We visited, Thailand is, a country of islands. We visited several islands in Thailand. I wouldn't put one over the other of the ones we visited anyway, because I just felt experience the warmth of the culture and the people the same in all of the locations we went to. And so now Italy is third. So it's still up there. And Italy is a country we've traveled to a second time because we did southern Italy initially, and there were areas in northern Italy that we wanted to travel to do Tuscany, etc. So we have now traveled both southern and northern Italy at this point.
So I have to share with you. I've been to Italy. I've never been to Bali and Thailand, either one of them. So I have put both of them on my list. So thank
Absolutely.
you for.
Well, let me know when you go to Bali because I want to go back.
Hey, that might be a good retreat location.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, can you share with us, do you currently operate a business or are you self-employed?
Yes, so I am self-employed, have been for decades. The name of my business is Floyd Psychotherapy Group. And although I no longer do one-on-one psychotherapy, my business now focuses on training therapists in this particular modality that's mentioned in my book, Internal Family Systems Therapy, also authoring books and also being a retreat leader. So that's what I've transitioned into from therapy.
Okay. And has your lifestyle change made it easier to operate your business and or write your book?
So, operating my business, what I would say about that is because as we were embarking on this lifestyle, originally I was a therapist in a brick and mortar building. And to transition, I needed to be online. So I was seeing clients online. But because I am a trauma therapist, I realized that it wouldn't be ethical to continue to see the clients that I had with the type of traumas they might be dealing with when I might have to go 2, 3, 4 weeks and not see a client because of what's happening in my travel life. So that had a lot to do with the transitioning. So the things that I'm doing now absolutely lend themselves to this lifestyle. So yeah, the writing the books, oh my goodness, the places that I have been able to write this book have been amazing, beautiful, inspiring. I've been on beaches, I've been in mountains, I've been in jungles, you name it. I've been there to write, traveling in various different countries. Part of this book was written on my transatlantic voyage from Southampton, London to Miami. Beautiful experience. So, yeah, so this lifestyle absolutely lends itself to my business interests.
You know what? And thank you for sharing that because I never envisioned like you all I always picture someone writing a book like sitting in their den or they're sitting in their living room or they're sitting at a table. I never thought about you might have been in the jungle or on a cruise or I don't
Yeah.
know, watching seals leap out of the ocean. So thank you for sharing that. It's very good to
Absolutely.
know.
I
Yeah.
on my Facebook, I literally have taken pictures in my various offices, and they've been the places that you're talking about. On the beach, in the jungle, somewhere on the cruise ship, on the Lido deck. So absolutely, and all of that inspired my creativity to bring this book to life.
I like that. I really like that. So let's shift to the book. Your
Mhm.
book is available for pre-order, and I will include the information in the description section of this video. Can you please share some information about your book, Listening When Parts Speak?
Yes. So, what I want to share about this book was my inspiration to write this book. You know, as a healer, a psychotherapist, it's important to me that people can be their full selves. And therapy helps us to do that because we get to work through those challenges in life, traumas. However, what I do realize as a therapist is everybody is not going to come to therapy for various reasons. Either it's not easily accessible where they are, the cost, or they just don't choose to do therapy. But all of us need some level of healing. So this book is written using the concepts and healing potential of internal family systems therapy. But I've written it as a self-help book. So people can use this book to do their own internal work in order to live the lives that they truly want to live. So that's been my motivation. I want to take internal family systems therapy out of the therapy setting and bring it into the world so more people have access to it.
Well, I have to say, I mean, I've benefited as one of your best friends. I have benefited from your therapy, and I've also pre-ordered the book. So I am looking forward to just seeing what wisdom is in the book and working through, whatever it is that is in the book. Let me ask you, we've mentioned internal family systems therapy a couple times. Can you explain what it is or what it's about to the listeners or the viewers?
Yes. So I'm going to explain it on two levels. One, the first level has to do with the shift in how we see the mind. So prior to internal family systems therapy, the mind was seen as one cohesive whole. And if there were parts, that was considered abnormal, such as when we think about things like multiple personality disorders, which we've changed the name to dissociative disorders. But at one time, it was multiple personalities. And so when we thought about the mind being in parts, that was abnormal. What we have discovered is that that is absolutely the way the mind works. It is multiplicity, that we have parts. It isn't normal for it just to be one whole in one way. And so, an example of this would be like when you are sitting with something and you say something like, a part of me thinks I really should lean into this particular job. And then you say, but another part of me thinks that's a very poor idea. It's just going to be too much work. That right there is multiplicity of mind, that we can hold two competing ideas at the same time. So that is the first way that I want us to think about internal family systems therapy, is that it is about that multiplicity of mind and that we can be in two places at the same time. And then I forgot my other point, Teresa. Oh
No,
my
it's
goodness.
okay. It's okay. I'm sure it will come back to you. But you
Yeah.
were explaining what internal family systems therapy was about.
Yeah. So one is the multiplicity of mind, and then the other one is systems. So think about the fact that you have what we call your external family. So this is the family that you were born into, your mom, dad, caretaker, whomever raised you, siblings, extended family, all of the relationships that exist in that family, folks we get along with, personalities, folks we don't get along with. There might be coalitions in the family, there might be people that are opposed to one another. That same thing happens internally with those parts I was just talking about. So our parts can be helpful to us, like our manager parts that help us get things done. But we also have parts that use strategies that can be upsetting in our life, upsetting in our relationships, and don't serve us well. So, and those are the parts that usually bring people to therapy and the parts that this book is designed to help you to heal.
Thank you so much. That was such a great explanation. I mean, it really was. I do want to ask if there's any additional information or helpful, inspiring information. Maybe I didn't ask a question and you think it would be helpful for someone to know about either digital nomad lifestyle or writing a book that you'd want to share.
Absolutely. So, about the digital nomading lifestyle, one of the things that I have learned, I didn't realize that this was going to be true, is the level of flexibility you must have if you're going to live this lifestyle. Because think about this, you don't live in one place, you're traveling all the time, there's lots of moving parts and pieces to this lifestyle, which means a lot can go wrong or not the way you thought it would go. Like flights and Airbnbs not being ready when you arrive, or you can't go to the place you thought you want to go because transportation has been disrupted by a strike. I mean, all types of things happen in this lifestyle. So I have learned that I am way more flexible than I ever thought I was. So that would be the first thing. The other thing is planning, is that you really need to think about where you want to go. For me, for instance, like I said, I don't want to go to Antarctica. My husband and I are what we call, what in this field or area is called people who follow the sun. So I want to be places where it's warm. I don't want to have on a big winter coat and earmuffs. So you need to think about what is going to make you happy if you're living this lifestyle. So being in a sunny environment really makes me happy. And some of the ways that you can do that planning is looking online. There are tons of YouTubers like Teresa who are leaning into the travel lifestyle and digital nomading. So do your homework. The other thing is, I do want to leave your viewers with a quote from my book, Listening When Parts Speak. And this quote is really about what I hope people will get from reading this book. So I'm going to look down on, because I want to read this quote verbatim. And so what it says is, what I hope to offer you through the reading of Listening When Parts Speak is a return to the sacredness of your essential self, to affirm those parts of yourself you had to hide to gain acceptance, love, and care. I hope that through this work, you grow to courageously and unapologetically express the whole of who you are. And that was my motivation for writing this book.
It's beautiful and it's very encouraging because, as you said, so many times we have to hide who we really are. I personally feel like I'm in a period of rediscovery since I've retired and really being able to daydream and remember who am I? If I don't have to work, who am I? So that totally resonates with me. So thank you for sharing. Um, as I said, I've pre-ordered the book, so I can't wait until it gets delivered from Amazon
Yes.
in the next few weeks. But Tamala, I want to say it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. I've always enjoyed our conversation, but in this moment, I want to say specifically, thank you for sharing those insights into digital nomading. And also, thank you for sharing about your book with us, with me and my viewers. Once again, the book is Listening When Parts Speak, a practical guide to healing with internal family systems therapy and ancestor wisdom. I've included the information in the description field, and also, if you have more, to my viewers, if you have more interest in Tamala's offerings, you can look into her at her website, www.tamalafloyd.com. I've also put that in the description field. Please remember to like the video if this conversation resonated with you. If you have questions or would like to see more videos like this, please add a comment, and also remember to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day.